What's going on, y'all? Blue Falcon here, coming to you with another video. This one is going to be very interesting. And why is that? Because you saw the thumbnail, you read the title, you want to know why people are so stupid.
What do you mean by
that? Well, Blue Falcon, what do you mean by that? Before I get into it, I want you to just watch this video real quick, all right?
In order to understand how people were induced to obey unjust regimes and participate in atrocities such as the Holocaust, he set up an experiment. Volunteers were told they were taking part in scientific research to improve memory. The teacher would ask the learner questions in a word game and administer an electric shock when the answer was incorrect. He was told to increase the voltage with each wrong answer.
Cloud, horse, rock, house. Answer. Wrong. 150 volts. Answer, horse.
Experiment, that's all. Get me out of here. Get me out of here, please.
Continue, please. Go right on.
I refuse to go on. Let me out.
The experiment requires you continue, teacher. Please continue.
Participants didn't know that the learner was really an actor and the so-called shocks harmless.
You're gonna get a shock. 180 volts.
I can't stand the pain. Let me out of here.
Can't stand it. I'm not gonna kill that man, eh? I mean, who's gonna take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please.
All right, next one, slow. Walk, dance, truck, music.
Two-thirds of volunteers were prepared to administer a potentially fatal electric shock when encouraged to do so by what they perceived as a legitimate authority figure. In this case, a man in a white coat.
375 volts. I think something's happened to that fellow in there. I don't get no answer. He was hollering with less voltage. Can't you check in to see if he's all right, please?
Milgram's findings horrified America. They showed that decent American citizens were as capable of committing acts against their conscience as the Germans had been under the Nazis.
All right. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I thought this video was very interesting. And why is that? The reason why it was interesting is because, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, how could the Nazis have done what they did? OMG. Oh my gosh. And I'm here to tell you right now that we are no different. And why is that? Now, when I say we, I use that term very loosely. I actually want to separate, give some distance when I say that with myself in that term we. But, you know, the American people are no different. You could look at people all day throughout the angles of time and be like, oh, how could they commit such atrocities and all this other nonsense? But as you saw in that video, people and their response to authority fundamentally makes them extremely stupid. And now let me just preface everything I'm about to say by saying this, right? I love authority. And you know when you're following just, that's the key. You know you're following just authority when the person you're following is telling you things like this. Look up behind everything I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? That's someone that has a lot of integrity. That's a person that you can follow, and let me tell you why. Because they don't want to just mislead you. They don't want you to be some blind sheep. Just look behind what I'm telling you. If you have a leader like that, yeah, by all means, follow them. That's a respectable leader. But let's get to the point of this video, right? You see, because there's fundamentally a whole bunch of logical fallacies that people engage in. Now, what do I mean by that? So, this is what I mean. A logical fallacy is an argumentative tactic. I want you to understand. A logical fallacy is an argumentative tactic, meaning that when you're in a debate, it doesn't matter if the person you're debating is speaking facts. You can totally dismiss that individual. Why? Because you're calling upon an authority figure. So that logical fallacy is called appeal to authority. Now, why is this important, right? Because do you know how many times people said certain things like, don't take the jab, right? Don't take the jab. Oh, you crazy. You stupid. You so ignorant.
Stop it. Get some help.
And now when you see so many people that done took the jab and got all these booster shots, they still sick. Now, hey, let me just say this. I'm not a medical professional, all right? So YouTube, I hope you don't take this down. I ain't a medical professional. But how many people done took that booster shots and they took the jab and they still got sick? And not only did they get the sickness the first time, but after they got the shot, they got it again. So who's ignorant now? Who's ignorant now? Right? But let me guess, right? Blue fucking, duh. What do you know? Duh. Go kick some rocks. Duh. Right? That's how some of you sound. Just like mindless dummies. Just a bunch of idiots. Why? Because you refuse to think. You refuse to actually exercise some self-autonomy. You know, just because somebody, like in that video, just because they're wearing a white coat, you just assume, oh, they must know what they're talking about. A la Dr. Fauci, right? That scum who done deceived the whole entire world. Yeah. But I'm your enemy, right? You would rather listen to somebody who don't give two shits about you, who definitely doesn't care about your soul salvation, but because they're wearing a white coat and because they got a bunch of letters behind their name, you know what I'm saying? Doctor this, MBA that, right? They got a bunch of letters, right? A bunch of titles, authority, right? So they just have to be right. Meanwhile, countless people are dying. And come to find out, natural immunity was the best immunity. Ooh. But here's the crazy thing, right? The reason why, I'm about to give you the answer, the reason why people are so dumb is because people fail to be noble. You know, in the Bible, you know, when Paul was preaching to the Bereans, right? They said the Bereans were noble. Why? They were more noble than those of Thessalonica because they didn't just take what Paul had to say. Paul was an apostle, right? That's authority, right? He was an apostle. But they didn't just listen to Paul blindly. They said they searched the scriptures to see if what he said was so. And that's why they were considered noble. Wow, that's why they were considered noble, because they actually looked behind what Paul was saying. Who would have thought? And you know what's so crazy about this generation today? This generation, matter of fact, let me preface it by saying, you know, back in the day, if people wanted information, you know what they had to do? They had to go to a thing called a library. Oh, Blue Falcon, what is that? I know. It's just a relic of the past. I get it. I totally get it. What's a library? It's just a place full of books, right? And back in the day, people actually had to go into these buildings full of books to search out information. You know, they had to read countless books, turn countless pages. And could you imagine? You will pick up a thick-ass book, to search up an answer that was only in one sentence. And who's to say where you're going to find this sentence? Right? Who's going to say? I mean, you'll be fortunate if the answer was on page 1, but 9 times out of 10, nah, you have to keep reading. You have to keep reading until you got to some arbitrary page number 365, and you needed the answer that was summed up in one sentence. Yep. They had to burn the midnight oil. That's what people did back in the day. And what's so sad is that in this generation, we got Google. Now, what am I saying? Am I saying Google has all the answers? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that, do you know how much time Google saves people nowadays? You can just type in how to do this. What is that? And you get the answer instant. 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 Instant answers. You don't gotta burn no midnight oil. You don't gotta waste countless hours, countless days, months, years to find the answer. It's instant. And now you got things like ChatGPT, right? Hey, you type it in. Hey, can you write a 6-page essay about dogs fighting cats? And that thing will write the essay for you. And your professors, your teachers, they won't know. They won't know. You could change a couple of words here, words there. Your teachers literally won't know. So there goes intellectual integrity now, right? You don't even need to plagiarize no more. You don't gotta go to your friend. You don't gotta pay them, right? Hey man, I'll pay you this amount. I'll pay you in cheese doodles if you write this essay for me. Woo! You don't gotta do that. You got old trusty ChatGPT. Now, what am I really saying, y'all? The information is out there if you're willing to actually look it up. But of course, that would mean that you would actually have to do your own due diligence, right? Practice self-autonomy and search out the matter to see if it's so. But the appeal to authority, you know what that does? Oh, well, you know, my teacher told me this, so it had to be right. You know, religious folks do it all the time. T.D. Jakes said this, so it gotta be right. Creflo Dollar said this, so it had to be right. My Pope said this, so it gotta be. Oh man, religious people, oh man. You can't get them. You can't get a Christian nowadays to open the Bible. That's blasphemous. A Christian to open the Bible? How dare you? Yeah, I mock. Because we had people who back in the day literally died just to get their hands on pieces of information. And now today, you can't get anybody to look up information, even though you can get it instantly. It's a sad world that we live in. It really is a sad world that we live in, you guys. Where we live in a time where people do not want to actually look things up, because they rather just listen to the guy or girl on TV telling you to pump yourself with a bunch of poison, and you would rather listen to that individual over the individual that's all they asking you. Like, people such as myself, and I'm not saying I'm the only one, but all people like myself, you know, all we doing is telling you, how about you search it out for yourself? That's a crime. How about you actually look it up for yourself? That's a crime. It's a crime, you guys. I'm telling you. Shoot, they damn near will consider me the devil, because all I'm telling you to do is look up behind what people are actually telling you, because I don't want you to be a mindless puppet. I don't want you to be a dummy. I don't want you to be a fool. I don't want you to be deceived. So I'm your enemy. Wow, wow, wow. It's a sad world we live in. I really do hope those of you who have the ears to hear can actually hear what I'm actually saying. Practice some self-autonomy, guys. Do your own due diligence. Search the thing for yourself. Because just because somebody's wearing a white robe, a white coat lab, what else? Just because they on TV and they on the news media, it doesn't mean that they're actually telling you the truth. Anyway, you guys, if you like videos like this, please like, subscribe, comment down below. because it does help the channel out a lot. And I would love to hear from you guys. With that being said, Blue Falcon over and out. Jesus is king, y'all.
Game to win. Game hard.